had a number of requests to talk about safety play. So instead of making one monster video, I've decided to break it up into a series of videos. And in this video, we're going to discuss one drill that helps you develop to prepare for a certain situation. If you're like me, you're not a professional level player. You're more recreational. Maybe you play in a league, maybe you play in a tournament. With that being said, it's reasonable to assume that you could run a grouping of balls, but you get a little out of line, you get funny on the 8. Say, for example, if you're playing 8-ball, you run your 7 grouping of balls, your opponent, his balls are already cleared off the table, and all you're left with is a bank shot, or in some cases, a very difficult cut shot. So what do you do in that situation? Do you want to be forced into trying to execute a bank? Really, I prefer to make my opponent execute the difficult bank. So I practice this situation. I have the 8-ball in this position, cue ball in this position. And what I want to do is bank the 8, but I have no intention of making it in the corner pocket. I want to leave the 8-ball as close to this section of the table as possible. And I want to leave the cue ball on this end of the table, preferably in the center, frozen to the rail. That would be the ultimate goal. So I shoot. Okay. And what I've done is I've frozen the cue ball to the rail, and I've left my opponent with either a bank or a very low percentage, very difficult to execute bank shot. Now, in the course of an 8-ball game or a 9-ball game, it is also reasonable to assume that you would be left with a situation like this, which is as difficult or more difficult than the previous position we just talked about. So what I want to do is I want to, instead of trying to make a low percentage play and maybe give my opponent an easy shot if I miss, I want to bank the 8 off of the short rail, leave it as close to this rail and as close to the center between the pockets as possible. Then I want the cue ball to carry them off of this rail, possibly 2 rails, and stay in this area, thus forcing my opponent into a bank or a very low percentage cut. And I've done just that. The only options my opponent has in this case is banking to the side or trying to run it all the way down the rail, which both cases are very difficult shots. So again, I just reload, try to do the same thing. Now what you do is you repeat this drill over and over again, and as you shoot it back and forth, going long rail to short rail, you'll come up with a lot of different opportunities. So you'll come up with a lot of different looks and trying to figure out the right combination of speed, of follow, draw, and English to apply to have the same outcome. There's one other thing I would like to add. While you're doing this drill, or doing any other drilling tool for that matter, you shouldn't just blindly hit it. You need to pay attention to everything that you're doing, the speed that you're using, how thick or thin you're hitting the ball, whether or not you're having to use follow or draw or left or right. Whatever you're doing to achieve the desired outcome of the drill, really pay attention to it, because that's the only way you're going to learn.